I tell you what, when in the cold weather and this bad weather, people just.
Did you say please share me?
That's it. Who me? Here we go. Ooh.
Here we go, round and round. All right, it's almost. Kathleen, what are you doing, girl?
She's doing a bear crawl.
I want to make sure you're lighting.
Man, I look so old and fat. God. Dude. Hey, cousin. My cousin Stephanie's on here. Everybody say hey.
Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey. Stevie Z, we got 10 minutes, man. We got 10 minutes of your time, friend.
All right. You got it.
Are you ready?
What time's your appointment?
1:30.
So you can actually leave about 1:15.
Is he running on time? Can we call see if he's running on time? There's a very good possibility he may not be running on
Right
time.
after lunch, he probably is, but chances of him beforehand and by 2:30, he'll be running back.
Yeah.
But he'll get back on there, he'll get it at 1 o'clock, and then once I get it, we'll start talking.
Hey, Misty Sexton, you could probably add some info. My buddy David Estes, who's also a builder, could probably add a lot of insight here.
Hey, we want to tell old David, man, we appreciate you, David. You always chime in and watch and support us, and man, you don't know how much we appreciate that. We always say good things about you. So, guys, if y'all need any real estate needs, the Madman is available for you, and he's got a couple great listings coming out.
And he's got vast knowledge of building a house.
Fast.
He is
Is
vast
that quick?
with a V.
Oh, V.
Fast. Roy Frazier, the man I'm looking for. I hope Roy, one of our proud sponsors, our preferred insurance vendor. If anybody out there is looking for insurance, say you bought a new vehicle. Did you know sooner or later you got to call him to get insurance? Did you know that, Cousin Charlie? Cousin Charlie, help me get that VIN number so I can.
So all that stuff we was doing horsing around the other day probably wasn't very wise.
Man, I don't even have insurance. That's what he said. I was doing donuts. Yeah.
Hey.
Didn't even know that, but Roy is your guy now. Did you pick up Roy through us, David Estes? Roy Frazier, I would love for you to give us some input on some of the things I'm going to talk about today. It's Wednesday. It's 1 o'clock. That means it's Real Estate 101 with me, my man, a.k.a. the Weatherman.
And we got Stevie, pretty boys of Visa. In the
About
audience.
to leave us so he can go get his hair cut. I will. Hey, Derek Godwin, my best friend, joined.
Our best friend.
Our best friend, our mutual best friend. I do want to acknowledge before we get started.
That I got 60% stake in him. You got 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stevie Z did beat me twice.
I seen that. I thought that was just trying to build him up, build his confidence up.
It is.
That's what
I'm
I
just
thought.
trying to build his confidence.
I thought
Now, where did
so.
Cousin Charlie go?
You know you've never been beat in trick shots, right?
Is that what he did?
Now he's changing
The door's locked.
Yeah.
Now he's going to come out here. Let's just see.
He don't need the door unlocked.
I didn't tell him to do it right now. Cousin Charlie. All right.
I think he's got to leave.
Oh, he ain't leaving.
All right. I copied this. I copied this straight off the internet. Roy Frazier, I want you to input because there's probably some things that are about to happen or could happen to your house that ain't going to get insured. But before we get started, my man, Weatherman, always does the introductions and gives a shout-out to
Well, hey, this is a great opportunity to talk about our guy, our preferred lender, Roy Frazier, who is one of our favorite sponsors for all your insurance needs. He's with Farm Bureau Insurance. I can't tell you he's got something new in the works. You definitely give him a shout. But I want to tell you something. He not only insures me, he insures my son. We believe in him so much. We send all of our customers to him, our clients. We like to call them family, and our personal insurance as well. We want to definitely give him a shout-out. Ibeer Mortgage, thank you so much for a great lunch and learn last week where my good buddy here did a great topic. And we want to appreciate everything y'all continue to do, the whole team over there. Belinda, Jamie, I can go on and on, Nathan Sanders. We couldn't do all these things without you. And we have so many more, but we got a great topic. I don't want to keep going into it.
I do want to give one more plug for Roy, and please share the stream. If you share the stream, one person will win a Alley on Main gift card. Please share the love, friend. Whenever I took over Brittany's life, I'm just kidding. Whenever me and Brittany started getting really, really serious, and she was looking for insurance, I'm like, call up Roy Frazier. So she called up Roy Frazier. Roy Frazier quoted her compared to what she already had, and the quote she was giving her was more by Roy Frazier. Okay? Now, I believe in value. I'm not a price shopper, but Roy's price was higher. She's like, well, what do I need to do? I'm like, what do you mean, what do you need to do? You need to go ahead and switch to Roy Frazier. You know what? He would not allow her to come over there. He said, I ain't doing that to her.
Wow.
Did you know that, Cousin Charlie?
I didn't know that.
Well, good, because I haven't told anybody that. But think about that. She's going to switch over, and he's like, hey, that's unnecessary. That'd be dumb of her to do that. But she was going to.
Honesty, integrity, character.
Hey, I'm telling you,
Man.
can't. The other night I bought a new car. Me and Cousin Charlie were riding around, and my car pretty much stopped working. Instead of getting a new battery, I made the decision it was time for a new car. We got a new car. I called Roy. He gave me my insurance information like 7:30 that night, and they let me drive it home. All right, let's get started. I want to talk about 7 things that you need to be aware of. Other people will probably, anybody on here, you're more than welcome to comment. We would love any comments on here. Richard Hodges, what's up? Chris Clark, David McWilliams, and Gilmore. Anybody on here, please comment. Stevie Z, before you leave, tell me one thing you should do as a homeowner right now to prevent a major problem in your home.
Let's see if you can get the biggest one. The biggest one.
I would say, leave your sinks dripping.
Now, what do you
Well,
need
you
to
live
do
in
that?
a 1920s farmhouse? That's a terrible answer. You got? Is that all you got? Is that what
That's
you
all
got?
I got.
Okay, well, leave.
Take your hose pipes off.
Hey, go to great grandmama's house.
Take your hose pipes
Hey,
off
he
the pipe.
don't get to claim that one.
You don't get to claim that.
You don't
one.
get to claim that.
Go get your hair done.
Go to your great grandmama's house and turn them sinks on. They ain't got no heat. All right, that's a good answer though, Steve.
All right,
Glad
now
you played with
these are
us.
some things I agree with. So number 1, invest in weather stripping. Weather stripping is a good way to seal warm air and cold air out of your home. Yesterday we went to lunch and I sat by a window of a restaurant in town and it was cold.
Yes.
Do you think they didn't put some stripping around the window even in a restaurant?
No, and they're probably not very well insulated. They're garage door windows, you know.
It was frigid. I mean, I could feel
What's today's topic? Real quick. What's today's topic?
how to really we're talking about maintaining your home in a inclement weather.
Oh, it's not to help it not get damaged, right?
Well, there's things that could happen we're going to talk about. Like one of the things that you try to take credit for. So invest in weather stripping.
But Stevie is right. Giving him a hard time. If you have copper pipes or any of those things,
Yeah.
and your house gets below freezing under your sink, and a lot of times, if you got an older house that's not very well insulated, it's very normal for your house to get cold, especially with 0-degree weather. So you could definitely have some major issues.
Now, Davey said the same thing. David Estes said what you were looking for. The number one thing, and I fell victim to this probably in early December. I lied and said I did it the other day, but I was just lying. We left the hose bib connected to the where the water spigot is. What is that called? David calls it the hose pipe. That's what I call it. But is that the right thing?
On Google, it's called a spigot.
The spigot.
Well, what is the garden hose hooked up to the spigot?
Yeah, spigot.
I left that thing joined. Do you know what could happen in that case, Stevie Z?
You have a burst pipe.
How would that happen?
The
Do you know
water
how it
will
happens?
The water will back up in the spigot and freeze, and it'll split the pipe.
Is that what happens? Tell us, Weatherman. You're
A lot of times, especially on Tommy's house, well, he's very, very lucky it didn't happen because he's on a slab. And so you literally have to, you can't just crawl under the house, splice it in. You have to cut sheetrock out. And guess what it is? It's on an outside insulated wall most of the time on your spigots. So, especially like the guardian hose or it's coming down the outside wall. So, and if it's in a slab, if the slab's not sleeved right, there's all kind of things that could happen. But yes, the ice will freeze, the spigot will freeze. It'll go back in there, and it expands, and pop.
No, David said something. This is what I've always heard. You won't know it until you use it when it warms
Exactly
up.
right.
Yeah.
Really?
You'll see a lot of times once it warms up, you may drive by a house and you'll see a faucet, water coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Once it warms up, that's when you'll notice the damage.
Yep.
What kind of damage does it do inside the house?
Well, it can be inside the wall and flood the wall on the inside, coming into your house, get all that drywall.
And if you're out of town, if you go out of town,
Like David just said, the spigot valve is 12 inches in the wall.
yep.
So weather stripping, we'll probably have to come back to this. Weather stripping will help keep the heat in there. And you probably need to look at these areas: the windows, the doors, the vents, plumbing areas, air conditioner, the mail chutes, electrical, and gas lines. So
let's talk about, you brought up a good topic because, God, you're so dang smart.
I'm a genius.
So most all these new homes, to give you an idea, everybody loves the big wooden front doors. Those are about $3,000. So you don't see a lot of those. So what you see is what they call a fiberglass double door that they gel stain that makes it look like wood. Well, guess what? Anytime you have two doors that open, a lot of times you have issues where air coming in around those doors. And so that's a lot of ways that you can definitely lose if you don't have great weather stripping, and check your weather stripping, because with those doors flinging up back and forth, that weather stripping will wear out. And then that's kind of probably why you felt the breeze yesterday.
Okay.
Siobhan Weathers said that those covers are only $3.
$3.
Hey, Progar's coming up in. Roy Frazier said everyone needs to get a water key where they can turn their water off at a street.
Or cut it on if it gets cut off by not paying.
Yeah. Back when I was broke at like 36, I'd have to go out there and sneak in the
pliers
and do that. Hex pipe will freeze and
That's right. Who said that? You have to go inside the wall to fix it a lot of the time. You can't just pull it out and get the PEX. You can't pull it out.
Now, here's something that I don't know that's embarrassing. You're looking at my sheet, weren't you?
Doing a little research.
Okay. Clean your gutters. Do you want to read why you should clean your gutters?
Well, it'll keep, allow your gutters to flow so other debris won't get in there and it freeze and it'll expand.
What would happen, okay, Roy, if you don't clean your gutters, if they're clogged, especially in colder months, they're more apt to freeze, causing additional blockage. Blocked gutters can allow melting ice and snow to seep inside your roof or flood your home's foundation, causing damage. So, one of the things I never think about is cleaning my gutters. One of the things I'm never going to do is clean my gutters, by the way.
Brittany ought to do that.
We don't have any trees. Do you think they're still dirty?
You got roof shingles that come down, debris comes off the roof.
Probably need to pressure wash your phone. This would be a great next show, though.
Yes,
Clean
absolutely.
gutters so you won't have. Okay, so number 3, I'm going right along with you, Roy Frazier. We're going to go to ice damming. But does everybody know what ice damming is?
That's so bad.
While a roofing professional is cleaning the gutters, see if he or she can evaluate your roof ice dams too. In cold weather, heat escaping your home can melt and refreeze ice and snow on your roof, leading to ice dams. These blocked off drains, so when your water's draining down, what is an ice dam, Weatherman? You're a roofer.
So let's say, if you got on the front of a house, those pretty things where your windows are, which is our dormer. Well, a lot of times a roof will come down with a valley. I hate to talk French, but so what happens is water comes down like a river and it flows. Well, what happens is when it freezes, it dams up. And when the water dams up, it goes into different areas. Mm-hmm. And so when it starts leaking or melting, if you got vinyl side and ice gets up in there, freezes, it's a lot of opportunities that it could do it.
What happens?
And another thing you got to think about is the heaviness of it and the weight of it. So there's a lot of things there that there's a lot of weight that could be on that roof.
But
too.
what do I? Okay, so let me see. Check parts of the attic. Okay.
See if it's leaking.
Yep. Pipes, chimneys, lights. Ventilate your attic. If your attic wasn't built with a ventilation system, contact a trusted professional or contractor about ventilating your attic before winter. Proper ventilation allows cold air into the attic while insulation seals heating your living areas. Man, I can't read today.
To give you an example, so ventilation in a roof is roof vents, a ridge vent, or electric vents, or these things called whirlybirds. If you don't have any ventilation, if you go in your attic, you may see ice on your plywood. So anytime you go in a real cold attic, sometimes, a lot of times you'll see the plywood has ice on it. You know, and so that thing, it'll start leaking when it defrosts, when the roof gets hot. So if you don't have proper ventilation, that's one of the things that could happen. Also, with roof damming in a valley, if ice runs up so far up your valley, it finds a nail and ends up leaking in the roof.
So, Roy, what would happen? What are the most outcomes of an ice dam? Is it leaking, or what is it that happens?
All the fish get blocked up. They can't flow through there.
The salmon
Yeah, they can't get
so,
through.
Roy, if you're still on here, if there's an ice dam on your house and it causes leaking and it destroys things inside your home, what would insurance do? I think there's something about ice dams where maybe the builder's warranty. That's what it was. I think ceiling damage to dwelling, is that covered by insurance? I know on new construction houses, when we were going through some problems in 2009 and 10, a lot of people didn't have money and they didn't have these leaks. And I don't know if a builder's warranty covers ice dams.
Right.
I don't know if it does. I don't think it does. I don't know. David Estes, does a builder warranty cover ice dams? That would be a great question for you to tell us.
Well, another thing we got to think about is now in Western County and a lot of other areas, sprinklers are required in your house. So sprinklers aren't run with PEX. They're run with like this PVC pipe or something. I don't know what the perfect term for that is. It's an orange pipe. And so that whenever you're building a house, a lot of times they already have to pressurize those lines and fill those lines with water. And so if you're doing a new construction house and it gets down real cold and then those lines are filled, that's an opportunity for it to bust as well.
Good. Hey, David said the builder does not cover an ice dam. So if you've got a home that's less than a year old and you feel like I've got a warranty, if they come back and they can tell if it's from an ice dam.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're smart, but
I got something I didn't get to say.
Well, say it, Weatherman.
All right. So a lot of people, if you have what they call a crawl space house, which means you can go up under it, you got paper, it's not on a slab, which is a concrete foundation, you have vents in your crawl space. So you're supposed to close those vents when it gets really cold to keep the cold air out from under the house. And when it gets really warm, you open them back up to let the airflow go through the house. Most people, my wife, bless her heart, takes care of our house for the most part. She already had all those closed the other day, and it's just a little thing you slide back and forth. Do you have that on your list?
Very profound, I will say this. In our area, we don't have a lot of snow, so we may not have to worry about this. But let's just say you're very, very anal about your house, and you don't want your roof to be stressed with weight like the snow.
Yeah.
There's something called a snow rake or a roof rake. You know what a roof rake is? What is it?
She's
no,
up
we
north.
got to
You
go
ought
in
to
here
know.
from Michigan. What is a roof rake?
You get up there and jump on it, bounce on it.
So when I'm thinking of a rake, I'm thinking of something in my hand I'm doing.
And you got to remember, I think up north, most all your roof pitches are really steep. So there are a lot of older houses in Western County had a very low roof pitch. There's not a lot. So go around Jones Boulevard, you'll see what I'm talking about. There are 4 or 5 pitches that about instead of like this, they're about like this. And that's where a lot of weight from snow, because snow is very heavy. Well, snow is not as heavy. Ice is what's heavy. So whenever you get a lot of weight on your roof, you can have a lot of issues because houses a lot of times were built on the trusses weren't as close as they are to code now. And so if you walk across the old roof, it already has a little bit of flags in it. And so if you get a lot of weight, you can have some damage to the roof.
Here's something that you hear some people when they're moving into a house. It's how bad or how much damage or free you cause to your house too close.
Yeah.
So, is that great?
You're old.
What is something
I'll take it.
I'll take it. Okay, so I am one of these people that don't know any better. I just think it looks to me like a clean, livable house. Okay. Now, there's actually danger. And let me ask you this, if you're a seller and a buyer, you don't stay out of that street and let the back. Would you do it?
You wouldn't want to, but it's not cheap. It's nothing but trees.
So, but is it something that needs to be done? I mean, what's so dangerous about it?
Breaks the nail. Yeah, the good part is once you put ice on anything, think about this, if you have it's kind of crazy, if you have a bottle of water in a car and it's full, whenever it freezes, it gets bigger. And so as ice is on the branch, it gets heavy, and so what happens is it breaks the branch, and then bam, you got a big branch that busts through your roof of your house. If you got a big one too, yeah, that's a lot of weight.
Neighbor's roof.
Yeah.
Now you're responsible because it's your tree.
Ooh, then your neighbor's mad.
All right, moving right along here. We've talked a little bit about this, but let's talk about protect your pipes from freezing. Well, most of us don't have to worry about that if we're living in the home, if it's got heating and air or central heating and air. But when it gets down to zero, I still think we've got to be aware of that. Here's something that in my neighborhood, I walk out, do something, I come back inside the house. A lot of times, Kathleen, I don't know if you know this, I don't even shut my garage door.
I didn't know until Brent's pipes.
Well, I don't know if Brent wanted us to say that, but let me tell you what, there's a guy in our office who a big tall guy in our office, he left his garage
That was
door.
on the big break.
He left his garage door open, okay? It was so cold, it froze. Did it freeze all the pipes in the house, or? He actually had no
Well,
water.
your hot water heater's in there, so, that's kind of probably what happened.
Can you freeze a hot water heater?
That's where your plumbing comes into. The plumbing goes to your hot water heater from the street, out of your hot water heater to the house.
So by leaving that garage door open, he couldn't use his water.
Yep.
No water. It was completely frozen.
Yeah, until it thaws out.
And it takes hours for that to happen.
Yeah.
Hours. How do you make sure? I mean, is there
You insulate you can insulate the PEX pipe and most of them should be insulated, but we had a very, very cold night. I mean, we were like 1 degree this morning, so if you leave your garage door open and your garage is 8 degrees in your garage, it doesn't matter how much insulation you got. It's very easy to freeze.
Now, the other night I got up in the middle of the night and our heat, it was out there. It sounded like it was eating something.
It's hungry.
The ice, I don't know what to do. Like our units are outside, so they're saying the ice is forming on your fan.
So I think you need to call. You really need to call. You need to call Shane Ray once it's our heating and air guy, and have them come out. The last thing you want to do is probably deal with no heat when it's 14 degrees.
I don't know much about HVAC. I mean, so I know that we got a bunch of snow the other day, and when that snow freezes, and if I'm not mistaken, when the air conditioner on, I wish Shane Ray was on here, it breathes, I guess, with that fan. And so if you're bogged down with ice on top of that unit, it seems like that may cause some issues. You know how the top of it's a fan and a grate?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times if you get a lot of snow and it freezes and it gets down cold and that thing is turning, you can't really get any. In my opinion, the heat. If you lose your heat, you have the chance of pipes busting. You have the chance of you freezing in the house, nowhere to go, trying to get somebody out there. So there's a lot of things that can happen if you lose your heat. So let's just say you lose your heat. Your old house is freezing. It's 8 degrees, it's 1 degree outside, and you got a lot of opportunities for some bad stuff to happen. And if you don't think you lose your heat, look at any social media. There's a lot of people losing heat right now.
Brittany Renee, are you on here? Something's wrong. I can't read my stuff. Is Brittany Renee
She
on
said,
here?
"Hey, fellas."
I don't see that. But
Just got on.
oh, thank you. Cut my spotter. Cousin Charlie. She just got
Hey,
on.
Brittany, Charlie told on you.
She just got on. Hey, how are things going at the shop today, Brittany Renee? This cold weather is keeping people from spending money, ain't it, Weatherman?
It is, you know. So hey, it's a great opportunity to go over there and see what kind of sales Brittany Renee's got going on at the exchange. Don't let the weather stop you from looking pretty.
Is there anything? Do we have any other questions? A lot of things came.
Is
through
Esther
here.
still on here? Esther, are you still on here? Do you know about the deal with the HVACs? If you don't clean the ice off the top of it while it's running, will that cause issues?
Would you recommend opening the cabinets to get heat
That's a good way.
underneath your pipes?
Well, Stevie was talking about that, and I think Weatherman.
Yeah,
said-
anytime that, you know, any newer houses use PEX, a lot of your older houses that was built in the 50s and 60s is copper. And so copper will definitely freeze because what happens with copper, it doesn't expand. PEX will expand. I think that stuff expands crazy big, and then it
That
shrinks
little
back
stuff?
up. Yeah, man, it gets pretty big.
Does
yeah,
it really?
yeah, and it doesn't bust. That's why PEX is
Really?
used everywhere. But copper will bust, and you got to get now. The problem with copper is you got to almost find an old school plumber because everybody don't do it anymore. Come down there and solder and put it in. And now the great thing about Lowe's and Home Depot now is they got these things called shark bites that just about anybody can fix stuff now.
So, what is more dangerous, living, or what's more likely for your pipes to freeze, a crawl space or a slab?
I've always heard that slabs, because anytime you're here, everybody always gives you this fear of slabs, because if it busts, you have to jackhammer. And so now I've always heard also that they put sleeves in. I don't do enough slab stuff to know. And so to me, the crawl space is very fixable. So when something busts, you can get under there. It's not hard to fix. You can tie in. But if it's in a slab and you can't get to it, and I sold a guy a house a few years ago, and he had a line bust in a slab, and he had to get a jackhammer and jackhammer the floor and get it fixed. You know, so go ahead. No, Charlie.
According to a well-known search site, your unit can have ice on it in the winter, and that's not part of the normal operating system. Your heat pump will reverse and go on a defrosting cycle.
Oh, okay. So that's probably where you hear the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
does that mean to somebody dumb like me?
You call it good kahuna.
It'll automatically try to basically repair itself to
Yeah.
get rid of it.
So it'll start shooting heat out to melt it instead of sucking it in, I'm assuming.
Then what will that do? What's the outcome?
To try to basically keep it running and get rid of the ice that's there.
So the units are pretty smart. So
Cousin Charlie,
the units will
is
fix
that
yourself.
legal?
Oh, hey, look here. Roy. Somebody might have to read that.
What is it?
Class action lawsuit against PEX companies from around 2011 to
Yep.
2012. There was some bad PEX, and when exposed to hot water, it started getting pinhole leaks in it.
Yes.
Have to replumb the entire house.
Wow.
Always check when buying a house with older PEX.
We have heard that, and we get drilled with that. I hate to say that. Let me take that back. We get presented a lot of times if there's a certain style of PEX in a house, and I think it's a different color, but it will tell you that this is not recommended, and it tells exactly what Roy said. So there are houses in Rutherford County that does have that PEX in it.
Is Roy Frazier, are you still on here? If you are, here's one thing I would really, really like to know. Is there anything as a homeowner we would need to be aware of that maybe we're going to have a hard time having something covered if there is an event where we need it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that too damn wordy?
I thought if
Do you
something
understand?
happened spot on, it's covered. If something is prolonged, which means if you had a leak in your crawl space and it leaked for 6 months, it may not be
Kind of negligence.
Yeah, negligence. But if something just busts and does it automatically, it happens that way. I tell you something that you got to think about too is a lot of time when people lose their heat, and you have houses with fireplaces, wood fireplaces that you really don't use, and those fireplaces have not been cleaned or not been used in a lot of years, there's an opportunity for have some fire damage and some other issues too. So if you're going to use a fireplace in the winter months, and if you're going to make sure that your fireplace has been looked at or cleaned, or even I think it's called a chimney sweep maybe, or something to clean out that chimney.
Our favorite property management, PMI, Misty Sexton says, don't forget to close your flute.
That's
It's
it.
not going because,
Come right down.
the cold air comes in.
Yes, yes. And then if you don't open it back up, smoke comes in.
Also, if you're leaving to go out of town and it's going to be cold for several days, have somebody stop by your house to make sure you haven't busted a pipe and flooding your whole house.
And the good thing we have over here at our GTT Homes is Cousin Charlie can't say no to anybody. So if that ever happens to you, just call Cousin Charlie. He'll be more than happy to do it.
We should have Emily Daniel or somebody on here one day talking about home warranties and the things that this would cover. I'm trying to think if
Ashbusters is awesome. Way to go, Misty. I used to not be a big component for home warranties, and only because I've heard horror stories. But I've had a couple people in the past couple months that are single ladies that are homeowners. I think it's just a good thing for them to have for some security. In the event something happens, they can call them up. It's a $75 trip charge. They'll either fix it or replace it if they can't. And it's just something that makes them feel a little bit better. So I've kind of started to go more into the line of I do like home warranties.
Mm-hmm. Well,
never thought I'd say that.
The reason why I like them now is because I've seen more proof that they fix things.
Yeah.
They pay things so long. You think they try to finagle their way out of doing things. So
yeah.
I don't think there's anything else I can add for this common sense stuff, but a big takeaway is always, always, always remove your hose pipe from that little bit. Always clean out your gutters, because I didn't even think about that. Be aware of ice damming. Be aware of freezing pipes. Weatherman said you got to make sure you got your heat, because if you lose your heat, there's so many other potential problems that come from that. So I don't think there's
a question. When you work for a builder that puts in sidewalks, is the sidewalks the responsibility of the neighborhood or the homeowner?
When they put them in?
I mean, all the way around.
The builder, the developer requires them. The builder puts them in, and then it's over.
So let me ask you a question. So if Sparkle is out here running through Puckett like she usually does, and she slips on somebody's sidewalk in front of their house, who is that?
I'd say Roy Frazier would be, if she was going to sue somebody.
The one who have the fancy driveways with the stone are so
slick. Yes.
I would almost think that's more of a risk to a homeowner.
Yeah.
Because I slide.
Yeah, I think they seal those things too.
They're still with the
Yeah.
I don't know. Roy would need to tell her, if I'm running on your sidewalk or in your driveway along that same area and I slip on ice.
Yeah. Or if you get out, if you go visit somebody and you don't put salt out or do something, like most people don't put salt out. You know, when you get out and you slip, like Cousin Charlie.
Cousin Charlie, where did you slip last night?
Just in the street.
Oh, who could you sue?
City Murfreesboro, maybe.
Maybe you should do that.
If I pay for the lawyer, can we split that 50-50?
And I want the public. Guys, I think that's all I've got, but I do think you really, really, really do need to take the gutters, your roof, and the hose bib. Those are very, very serious things, because insurance is something that you really don't need. Don't think about until you really, really need it. So everybody, have a great day. Stay safe. Stay productive.
Tune in.
Straight from the gut tomorrow night. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I think I want to talk about decisions. Cousin Charlie, go ahead and shut us down. But